just wanted to give my thoughts and see what your thoughts are about the Gabby Petito case. Now, I was trying not to delve into the topic. A lot of these stories, they just really get in my head, and I can't get them out of my head. Um, I guess the last story that really got to me so bad was the Malia Davis story, which I still don't know what's going on with that yet. I'm gonna have to see what happened. That was like 2 years ago or something like that. But so now they're saying that they did the autopsy and they found out that it was indeed Gabby Petito, whose remains were found in Wyoming. So Gabby, she was trying to be an up and coming YouTuber now, which she only has one video on her channel, which is like 4 million views right now, because it was their start of their van life. Going across the country, I believe, and just showing living a nomadic lifestyle, which her channel is Nomadic Statik, which is a very catchy name, and that's what made me really read into this story also, because you find out a person does the same, is a content creator like you are. So she was just getting started, and I believe they had said her channel was at 6,000 subscribers. Now it's at 74,000 subscribers, which is a terrible. It's just terrible. I do want to say, as a content creator, she did an amazing job on the video that she did, with the van life and the editing and the music choice and the different like aerial shots and this, that, and the other. So earlier today, I was watching everybody was talking about the body cam footage of the police officer that ended up pulling their van over, which I now believe is because of a 911 call that a witness had earlier. So this particular morning, which I believe was August the 12th, the police pulled her over. The video was for over an hour of them questioning. Then when they pulled her over, she was crying, and her fiance, boyfriend, Brian, he had scratches all on his face and stuff like that. So I had watched that video before I watched the 911, listened to the audio of that, and I was kind of thinking, man, she was hitting him. I don't know. Like, at that point, I kind of believed it was just a toxic situation between both of them. Like, I don't know. It was just something not right. But anyways, for the 911 call, there was a man that said he saw Brian slapping her repeatedly. So now I'm thinking that she was scratching him up, to get him off of her. So apparently she told the police that he locked her out of her van and wouldn't let her in there. And she was scared that he would leave without her, which people are saying that he might have done that before. It's just a sad situation that now they found her and he's missing. So with him being missing, that's, a huge red flag, which in fact, he returned home to his house from the trip without her. So it's like, what kind of mess is that? And then the cryptic text messages, she was saying, supposedly saying, which, everyone believes now that it was him sending the messages. Tell Stan, which was her grandfather, that, it was something about the voicemails. I can't remember, guys, but her mom said she wouldn't say Stan, she would say Grandpa or that type of thing. So they believe it to be him, Brian, to have sent these messages. But the police officers were very nice. Everybody was saying, and people from other countries were commenting as well about how lovely the police officers are. Well, most of them probably are nice, but I hate to bring race into it, but what if this was a black couple? Would they have been so nice? And, people were saying they wish the police had put Gabby into custody. That way she still would be alive. But it's just so heartbreaking because she was so upset and she was blaming herself, talking about she has OCD and she got mad at him. And then they go back to the police and talking to Brian, and Brian's yeah, like trying to figure out like what did she say. Of course, she didn't tell him that he had been slapping her earlier. But she should have, but I guess that's the mind of abuse victim. So, but he was acting very, very strange. The officer did ask him, was he on something? But then, it seemed like they kind of basically took his side because he had the marks on him. And as you know, sometimes I guess, if you hit someone, bruises don't show up till later. Much later, if you slap somebody, her face was already red from crying. So, I don't know, guys. Like, I just want to say, if you're in an domestic violence situation, man, female, leave, protect your peace. It is better to be single. It's a lot of lessons from this story. It's better to be single and alone and have your peace. Sometimes, people always feel like they have to have someone. I kind of felt like that when I was younger. That's why, I stayed with my children's father so long. And there was no abuse that way. It was a cheatation situation. So even though he was a cheater, I stayed with him. But, even if the person is cheating mentally, verbally, emotionally, whatever, abusing you, you should just leave, get out the situation, and protect your peace, especially if, it happens to be kids involved. That way the kids don't have to grow up and see that, because it stays in the mind forever. So, and then the other lesson, I guess, is a couple of lessons, like I said. Not to envy people. If you look at their video, I'll put the link in down below. If you look at their video, they kind of, it seems like they're happy, and if you really look at it, it kind of doesn't. But, people always post all their smiles and happy times on social media, and a lot of people are envious of that. So you gotta always remember, you don't know what happens behind closed doors. You really, really don't. So stick with your own life. The grass is not always greener. She said that he thought that he didn't believe that her blogging would take off. So he didn't believe in her from the beginning. So he probably was putting down, this whole thing she was trying to do with her YouTube. Kind of getting lost here. She said she was a nutritionist. I don't know if I said that or not. And then she quit her job to be a blogger. Vlogger, I get the two confused. I thought blogging was when you wrote, and I thought vlogging was when you did it to the video, the tune of a video. But anyway, what's also heartbreaking is when, you've seen that she could have been saved a couple of times, as far as the police officers, when they pulled her over, she could have been saved there. It was kind of just telltale. And when they were downtown where the stores were, I guess that's where the stores were, where, Brian was seen slapping her. So,